Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sketching Hour, where we are here to make your highs as fuzzy as possible. I'm Lauren. I'm here to basically talk a lot while the two amazing artists below me drop fuzzy hellos to everybody. Alexis, hello. Would you please introduce yourself and tell us why your highs are fuzzy?
Hi, everyone. I'm Alexis. I'm the art lead for Untitled Champions, and my highs are fuzzy because I just wanted to be today.
Aw. And Michelle, please introduce yourself and tell us why your highs are fuzzy.
Hi, I'm Michelle Papadopoulos. I'm one of the artists on Untitled Champions, and my highs are fuzzy because I like to be warm.
Warmth is nice. I have fuzzy socks and a sweatshirt over here in case I get cold in the middle of this, so I appreciate all the fuzzy. For those of you who are new to our show, these amazing artists and me also are going to roll in these rolling tables where we're going to get a monster, an adjective, and a cute animal. With those three prompts, Michelle and Alexis are going to be crafting unique creatures right before your very eyes while I work with the chat to come up with backstories and names and talk about food and also talk about some exciting things that are coming up shortly. But first, let's get to the rolling. And then depending on what happens with the rolling, some exciting thing might happen right away. Michelle, I believe you have cute animals. Alexis has adjectives, and I get the monsters. So here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. We were supposed to show off our dice. I have my Draconia dragon set. I don't know how well it shows up here. Alexis, I believe you're all squishy fuzzy.
Yep, big squishy.
And Michelle, you got the rainbow? Nice. All right. Well, I have rolled an 8.
I fell on the ground.
Floor dice don't exist. I've rolled an 8, which means y'all are drawing an astral dreadnought. So this is a nice start. What's our adjective?
2 for enraged.
Ooh, an enraged astral dreadnought. That's hard to say. And what's our cute animal?
19, caterpillar.
Which, you know what, is going to work with an astral dreadnought in a very weird way. For those that don't know do either of you know what an astral dreadnought is?
I have an idea. Look it up now, though.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you at home don't know what an astral dreadnought is, which I would totally understand because it's one of those creatures that's an incredibly very, very large, as you can tell by the dreadnought, very dangerous, very high CR creature. It kind of looks like if a crab decided to bulk up and then get a maw, a big toothy maw and lots of spikes. And I believe it is gargantuan. I believe it is titan-sized. Yes.
With a name like Astral Dreadnought, it has to be large.
They're very, yeah. It is a gargantuan monstrosity, a challenge rating of 21. It's a big boy. It's a super big boy. All right. Well, while the two of them mull over our astral caterpillar dreadnoughts who are enraged, I'm going to go ahead and change. I'm going to change the title. I mean, I was excited about the Year 4 All-Star pack that just got released, but that's because Orkira's in it, and so I might be biased. Enraged caterpillar astral dreadnought. Durr. You know what? This is going to be one of those titles that might have to be on 2 lines. Yep, there we go. It's a 2-liner. We can do that. Anyway, hi chat. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. If you do have any questions for me or our wonderful artists, or if you have questions about the game or about art or about Astral Dreadnoughts, go ahead and ask it in chat and use question in big capital letters before your question. And the wonderful moderator, Martin, who is here with us today, will grab those and put those in a little backstage document that I have, because every once in a while I get distracted looking at this awesome art. And so I miss out on a question, but Martin will grab your question. Meanwhile, I have some exciting things to show you. First, we were talking before the show. And yeah, surprise, we're friends. We talked before the show. And we realized it's been 34 episodes. We've been doing this a while. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of interesting things about these rolling tables. First off, I went through and I looked at episode 1 and episode now, and we've gone through everything that was on the episode 1 cute animal list. Gone. We've used it. There is only one creature that was on the episode 1 monster list that is still on the list today. Chat, can you guess what that creature is? There's one creature on there. I'll leave the rolling tables up for an extra moment. Let's see. Now, it might be a little harder to tell than you think, because some of them have been removed and put back on for various and sundry reasons. Yes. We've got winners. Cat's Tea Sweaters. Undead. Undead is the only creature that was here episode 1 that is still here episode 34. Now, under the adjectives, there are actually 3 things. There are 3 things that have yet to be rolled that were here in episode 1. Can you tell which 3 things have yet to be rolled that have been here since episode 1? We'll see. We'll see what they come up with. Statistical analysis with Lauren, J-Dog. Hey, listen, numbers are interesting. It's also one of those things where, we've been doing this for 34 episodes, which means we've gone through more than 20 numbers, and yet there are 3 things on the adjective list that number has never come up. Flying has come up. Or it hasn't come up, but it hasn't been there since day 1. Flying is new. So yeah, remember that the stuff that's on the list hasn't actually been used yet, but there are 3 things that were there since day 1. Rainstorm says they've been waiting for Slimy forever. All right, well, I think we've stumped chat, so I will just let you know the 3 things that have been there since episode 1. Number 1, stinky dirty. Nothing. We've never rolled a natural 1 in our adjectives. Mm-hmm. We've rolled a bunch of elements, but never number 7, ice. It's never come up. And we've also never rolled number 10, which is robotic. So all 3 of those are things that have been around since episode 1 that have been on the list for a very long time. And we were thinking, and let me know if the 2 of you would still like to do this, of asking the chat to vote on what they wanted us to do for next week.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Just cross off those few things that are still remaining.
Yeah. So
a little different.
Nice. And I'm going to pass this along to Martin, our amazing moderator, who shortly is going to offer up a poll in chat. And chat is going to decide on the adjective for next week. And it's going to be one of the three that has never come up yet. So you'll have a choice between stinky, dirty, ice, and robot or robotic. And while that comes up, I love that the two of you already have toothy maws on here. This is amazing.
Gotta get those teeth.
I was about to say, what was it about the teeth that made the both of you immediately gravitate towards teeth?
I think for me, it's because it's supposed to be enraged. So teeth are a good way to show anger. Arr.
Arr. Oh, there we go. Poll is up. Next week's adjectives. Go ahead and vote. While that happens, I've more fun stuff. So last week, if those of you who are new to our show and are wondering, well, after an hour, what do we end up with? Well, last week we had whimsical Leviathan quackers and one with a toothy maw. I think, Michelle, this is going to be 2 toothy maws in a row for you.
I like a toothy maw.
You're very good at toothy maws. And I have an extra surprise. So on our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions, we have an entire channel devoted to the sketching hour where you can see all of these wonderful creatures that have been drawn up. But a little while ago, we had an episode that was specifically a Extra Life episode. And where not only did Michelle and Alexis draw with watercolors, but one of the goals, if we raise so much money, we will release this extra thing, was that we were going to put out coloring pages, specifically of those creatures. And look! It has happened! After the show, if you go to our Discord channel and you check out the Sketching Hour channel, these will be available for you to download so that you can do your own colorful versions of the fungal salmon on keg with a bow tie. There was other stuff that happened in there too, but we kept it simple. So there they are. Oh, chat's going wild with appreciation. Aw. Doorbell Stream says, I'm not a coloring book person, but I'm happy for people who are. Aww. You know, I'm not usually a coloring book person either until suddenly you just every once in a while have the urge to just sit and color something in and not have to think. And it's very relaxing. There was a whole, what's those apps that you can get that it's not quite like coloring, but you could basically just pick colors and be like, fill. And those can be very relaxing sometimes. Aw, Starchaser43 says, believe it or not, 34 episodes in and I've loved every creature. I know I can't believe it either. Aw. Well, thank you. But if you would like a hand in what next week's adjective will be, you can go ahead and participate in the vote going on right now. It looks like robot is just a bark ahead. Just a tiny little bit ahead of ice, and Stinky Dirty is falling behind. It looks like people are going for robot, but you know, there's still quite a bit of time, so we'll see what happens. All right, and we've got some questions. Babylon Ranger 2261, enraged astral dreadapillars implies the existence of astral dreaderflies. Oh. Okay. All right. So I didn't think about that because you're drawing caterpillars, that now we have to draw the second evolution of these creatures, which is the enraged astral butterfly. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Doorbell Streams has a question out of left field. Question: what dessert would you want to eat right now if it wasn't bad for you? How about the two of you? What dessert would you eat immediately if you didn't have to worry about consequences?
Oh, it's a tough one.
I have an answer right away, although...
Yeah, you answer then.
Cadbury cream eggs.
Ah.
I would have all the Cadbury cream eggs, every single one. I would eat a dozen of them like they were actual eggs. They're so good. I love them so much, but in the real world, I would die of cholesterol if I did that.
Yeah. I think I would just go for like a big cup of just like pure whipped cream and just chow down on the whole cup.
Ooh.
I just love whipped cream so much, especially the Starbucks whipped cream. Oh, I could live off it.
Have you had fresh handmade whipped cream?
Yeah.
It's
So good, especially when they don't add too much sugar. If it's just like mostly cream and a little hint of sugar. Oh,
yeah.
so good.
Oh, just thick enough. Oh, yes. I 100% agree. Alexis, how about you? What you thinking?
I think probably just like chocolate cake. Just like a really good chocolate cake.
I mean, that's a good solid choice.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was a tie between ice and robot.
Ooh.
So ice robot?
I like that. Ice robots. That's
Ace.
it. Next week, y'all are going to have to do ice robots of some sort.
Okay.
Well, so I think it was technically robotic. So those are your two adjectives. Robotic. And then we'll just do a roll for the cute animal and a roll for the monsters. There'll be 4 things next week. Ooh. Thank you to everyone who voted. Also, ties. What are with ties? Come on. Next time we'll do one of those votes and where people can use their channel points to bump up one of their choices. And then we'll watch the mayhem happen. It'll be great. Gray L-shaped says, haven't had a hankering for a Cadbury egg since they changed the recipe. They changed the recipe? I don't remember this.
Yeah, I didn't think they were different.
Yes. I really liked Cadbury eggs too. Like it was kind of a special treat. And then one year I had one, I was like, I don't like this anymore.
Really? What was different?
No, I thought like to me it was just way too sweet, and I thought maybe it was just like a changing in my taste buds, but maybe it was a conspiracy.
But maybe a conspiracy, a Cadbury conspiracy. I mean, Cadbury cream eggs are one of those incredibly sugary treats that I've always known I've liked, but I'm one of those people who likes like heavy fudge and fondant and like the intensely sugary things. But oh, here we go. Dubalgol says Nestle bought Cadbury out and none of it tastes quite the same.
Oh.
Huh, they went cheaper a few years ago. I mean, I'm not going to get into the differences between, say, American chocolate and other chocolates. You know what it is? I bet you the chocolate changed, but that inner gooey stuff probably didn't. And I'm an American who doesn't mind American chocolate, so I probably didn't notice much of a difference because I'm all about that inner goo. I don't know what you call it. What do you call the inner goo of a Cadbury cream egg? The yolk?
The yolk, yeah.
Yeah, yolk.
The sugar yolk, I guess. I mean, that's the chocolate is just a medium to get the sugar gooey yolk into my taste buds.
So you know how you can buy like a carton of eggs so that you don't have the shells and you can just pour them out? If there was a carton of Cadbury egg goo, would you get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would. You know how we started this conversation with what would you eat without consequence if you could? I would eat that even with the consequences. I would be dead.
Oh,
I would be dead
wow.
right now. It'd be the worst. I would have yes. I would have all of the diabetes. It would be the worst, but I'd be so happy. Could you imagine one of those cartons and then trying to pour that out though? Like that's the consistency of mud.
You'd have to use a spatula. Just put it right.
Like a spoon and just like.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So maybe it'd be more like a jar, like a peanut butter jar kind of than a carton.
Yeah. Although a carton is just funnier.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reality of this, how am I going to harden my arteries is it would be like a glass jar or something. Whew. Well, that was an interesting. Oh, also Martin suggests something interesting, which is that instead of next week, both of you doing ice and robotic in the same creature, that one of you could take ice and one of you could take robotic if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
We might have to fight over who gets ice, though, because neither one of us are really that into drawing mechanical things.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe we should leave it so that both of you do both, so that you can enjoy a little bit of the ice and not have to do so much of the robot.
Yes.
It'll end up being a little steampunky, and that'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, creme brulee, says Martin, for their dessert. Creme brulee is delicious. Creme brulee is also fun, but I find any kind of cooking in where you get to actually set things on fire as part of the process really fun. Here is my kitchen blowtorch. That's a sentence. That's a real sentence that people have said. Here's my kitchen blowtorch. I'm like, that might be the first time I've ever thought about becoming a chef, is so that I could own a blowtorch in the kitchen.
My husband's sibling made some creme brulee for us about a month or two back, but they hadn't melted the sugar on top, and so Matt, my husband, brought up his workbench blowtorch, which is not a full-on welding one, but it's a little one that you can solder stuff in. Use that instead.
Did it work?
It did.
Was it epic?
I wasn't watching when he did it, but I mean, it tasted fine, and the kitchen didn't burn down, so I'd call that a success.
Because I gotta tell you, if someone came in with a welding torch into the kitchen for creme brulee, I would have said it. I'd be like, all right, all the cameras are on right now. This is going on the TikToks. This is going on the Twitters. This is going on the Instagrams. Well, I'm glad that nobody burnt anything down, and I'm glad that you had delicious creme brulee.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Martin has a kitchen blowtorch. Apparently, I'm the only one that doesn't have a kitchen blow. Michelle, do you have a kitchen blowtorch?
No, definitely not.
You and I need to get ourselves kitchen blowtorches.
Yeah, we do.
We're way behind on the times for all of that. The weekly creme bruleeing that we need to do.
Well, I can't make dessert. I never bake any dessert because I know I'm going to eat it all that same day. I don't have any willpower that way.
I get that. Yeah. If it's in the apartment, I want to eat it.
Yeah. So I just avoid.
Mm-hmm. Garwar has a question about our coloring pages, which Garwar says, are the coloring pages on the website with the others? No, not yet. I know what coloring pages we're talking about because I remember seeing those at conventions. I'm trying to remember, are our coloring pages on the website?
I think so.
Yes.
Maybe? Mm-hmm.
I should look into that and add the coloring pages to those coloring pages for all of the coloring pages. I've said coloring pages a lot today.
Or is it on our Discord?
They're not on the Discord.
Oh, okay.
I know that because that I've had control over since joining the company. The website I've only had moderate control over, and sometimes I find things hidden in places. I'm just, oh, look what's over here. I will make a note, Garwar, and I will look that up. I mean, I know those coloring pages exist. Raider Eric G says, question, did Lauren ever look up jumping spiders for cute animals? Yes. So I know jumping spiders are cute because a lot of them have that little fan, that's multicolored fan that's just whoo. And there's the animated, what is her name? His name? There's the animated jumping spider.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah, that has the, hi, I'm the jumping spider. It's like these short little animated shorts. Quick chat, help. Who's the animated jumping spider that does all the cute little... Oh, here we go. Garwar helping out with the old coloring page blog post. Here, let me just... Lucas! I'm having two different discussions at the same time in chat, and I hope you can all keep up. Okay, Garwar has put into chat the link for the older coloring pages, which I will grab and I will make sure gets into the sketching hour Discord. Those are technically different coloring pages because those are coloring pages for full champions. And I remember you could only get these for a while if you went to a convention. And then when the Panini started, you all put them up for all of us to color. And there was like, color these in. And if enough people show that you colored a coloring sheet this week, we would release chests and stuff. That I remember doing that. That was fun. Yeah, there's a Shara. Fun memories. Fun memories of coloring pages. I still have a couple of these floating about because we printed out a bunch of them. Especially all the Aarakocra because I'm that person. Okay, so that's the coloring pages. Also, thank you to Rainstorm Fur, Lucas the Spider. I believe Lucas is a jumping spider, and Lucas is adorable.
Lucas is adorable. Big eyes.
Yes, that helps. Like,
yeah,
two big eyes, and then all the rest of the spider eyes are just like tiny, tiny, tiny. Because like if all the spider eyes were big, I think that would still be creepy. But Lucas manages to be adorable. Unless you are scared of spiders, in which case I don't know if there's anything that can be done. But I find Lucas adorable. Let's see. Oh, Growltor has a question for, it's an art question. Are one of you, I like how they ask, are one of you behind? Are one of you behind Star Silk, the chimeric hair?
No, that was actually John, one of our artists who has since moved on, but Star Silk is super adorable.
Not only is Star Silk adorable, I love the wing motion on Star Silk. Like that hardcore flap that's going on. I like putting Star Silk at the top of my, the 6 familiars that you put out on the field. I like putting Star Silk at the top. So there's plenty of room for flapping. That's me. I mean, I'm just into having all of the familiars. Star Chaser 43 suggests marshmallow cream is an adjective.
Ooh.
Okay, wait, let me offer something slightly different because Easter is coming. How about as a peep?
Yes.
Okay. We might have to come up with a specific Easter. When is Easter this year? Easter 2022. Let's see. Sunday, April 17th. Okay, so somewhere probably the week before we'll think about doing something something fun Easter related, and it'll all be marshmallow peeps and stuff.
And Cadbury eggs.
And Cadbury eggs. And baskets. And what else? I mean, it's all just candy.
Candy. And bunnies.
So my birthday is in April, and every 7 to 9 years, because of leap year, my birthday ends up on Easter. And when I was young, it was awesome, because for my birthday, I would just get all the chocolate from the side of my family that celebrated Easter. And then the Jewish side of my family would actually send me gifts. And then I got older, and I started to learn that maybe I wanted my birthday to not be on Easter because, you know, I also, like Michelle, have a hard time restraining myself when there's a lot of chocolate in the house. And as an adult, there are health benefits to not eating all of the Cadbury cream eggs.
I also have the same problem with having food in the, tasty foods in the house.
Yeah, there's something about if it's within easy reach, it is consumable. But if I've got to walk across, and we have a grocery store literally across the street, but that's enough of a walk that I will be healthy. So Dobagol says the Flaming Hands attack on Arkira was personally appealing. Well, yes. I mean, Orkira is all about that creme brulee life, right?
So we need an Orkira skin where she's got a kitchen blowtorch.
I mean, she is a kitchen blowtorch. There was specifically one episode where she used her fire to help Sophia's cook. So she has officially been a kitchen blowtorch.
Mhm.
Yes.
There needs to be more like D&D adventures where it's like, use your magic and your skills practically. Like you're setting up a house part, like a giant gala or a party. Like, what are you going to do?
To be honest, that's one of the reasons that specific classes appeal to me, because they give me powers that I can use outside of combat. And also spellcasting classes that let you change out your spells, like druids and clerics, so that you can have access to a bunch of spells that a lot of the time are way more useful or multifunctional outside of combat. Like, I'm not thinking of any specifically kitchen stuff. Although produce flame is a blowtorch in your hand, so that's fun. But yeah, I love having those utility type abilities and spells that you can go into, that you could use when you're not rolling initiative.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite D&D sessions that I've participated in was we were a circus troupe, and it was like the very first session, and we were putting on our show, and we had all rolled classes and like figured out what our role in like the circus would be and stuff. And I had picked a sorcerer, and she was like the special effects pyrotechnics. So
Nice.
everyone else was doing their flips and stuff. She's like, using like illusions and stuff to like add fireworks and like mist and things and like sound effects. It was really fun.
That's awesome. That is super awesome. Yeah, being able to do those kind of games that you're just not having to worry about combat, but you can just dig into doing something really flavorful. Unintentional pun from cooking. And there is now that feat. That's a cooking feat. Let me look that up. Because there was a whole, was it chef? Yes, from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I mean, you get some practical benefits, like there's a ability score increase. But yeah, as part of a short rest, you can cook special food, provided you have ingredients and cooking utensils on hand. You can prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. At the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points regains an extra D8 hit points. That's right. You can cook a meal so good it heals people.
I think I've mentioned it before on the stream, but the magic item, the Alchemy Jug, makes me want to roll a chef character.
I love the Alchemy Jug so much.
Right? Because you can have like mayo or honey or whatever.
Yes. I mean, I just love it for the mayo, because mayo is funny. And it is, whenever I'm a player in a D&D game and somebody asks me what are the magic items that you want, I'm like, Alchemy Jug, Alchemy Jug, and an Alchemy Jug. There was an episode of D4 that we came across like a caravan that was selling magic items. And as soon as they had an Alchemy Jug, I was just emptying out my entire wallet of all of my... Orkira's just like, take whatever I have. I need an Alchemy Jug. I need this so much.
Endless mayo.
Oh, yes. She created multiple mayos multiple times. It was amazing. Plus, yeah, you get... there's a version of it that makes hot tea as well.
Nice.
You get oil, you get honey, you get poison. Oh, it's such a good thing. Oh, and it is halfway through the show, so I will welcome all of the new people who are joining us from the game. Michelle and Alexis are currently drawing enraged caterpillar astral dreadnoughts, which is a mouthful and a half. If you're unsure what any of those creatures are, ask and I'll do my best to explain them. The astral dreadnought may take a little bit longer than the others. The Lurking Rider says there's an alternative to the Alchemy Jug with different things in it that it can produce, but I can't remember its name. So they're all the Alchemy Jug, but they're different colors. So the one that Orkira had specifically was blue. And there's only like a few differences. It makes a lot of the same stuff. So I think they all make water, oil, a couple of the basics, but the blue one...
I see it has tea.
Yeah, the blue one makes hot tea, which I love. Boiling hot tea, not just hot tea, boiling hot tea. Yeah, I think beer, boiling hot tea, blah, blah, blah. So the blue one doesn't make the vinegar, and it doesn't make poison or acid, it looks like. There's also... Go ahead.
I was going to say, the orange one has soy sauce, which also
that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, so they're all alchemy jugs, just they have... some of them are just different color alchemy jugs and make slightly different things. But yeah, the blue one with the hot tea is really, really good. Does the orange one, is that the one that makes whiskey, I want to say?
It's got beer, honey, mayo, oil, soy sauce, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, and wine.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think the water, the wine, the beer, the oil... are all the same, and the honey. But yeah, alchemy jugs. Players, ask for alchemy jugs. DMs, give your players alchemy jugs. You never know when several gallons of mayonnaise spread across the ground to make one of the walking statues of Waterdeep trip and fall is going to be really important in your game. I'm not talking from experience. Garwar agrees that there's happiness benefits to eating all of the Cadbury cream eggs. That's true. Before I die from cholesterol poisoning, I will be so happy. It will be just the best. That is the warmth of all of that sugar. I was saying hi and welcome to all the new people who are coming on in. I did want to talk about our coloring pages a bit more. Look, yay! So this was a stretch goal from our Extra Life game that we did in November?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels like 3 years or 2 days ago. That feels like both forever and also just yesterday. So yes, back in November, we did a big 24-hour Extra Life stream, and Sketching Hour was part of that. And one of the stretch goals was, we'll make Alexis and Michelle's awesome art into coloring pages. And look! So if you come to our Discord after this show, not right now, because I was trying to surprise everybody. And if I put it up on the Discord now, that would not be a surprise. After the show, go to our Discord, go to the Sketching Hour channel, and you can download for yourself Sketching Hour coloring pages. And then also hang out on our Discord, which is just a nice place to be. Raider Eric G says, cursed alchemy jug produces the ingredients, but only in spoiled form or otherwise unuseful. But every time you want an ingredient, it magically appears in your hands just for Lauren's nightmares. Okay. So spoiled mayo sounds horrific, but hear me out. If you know that the ingredient it's going to produce is in spoiled form, that just means you're prepared for alternative uses for the mayo. And I have certainly used mayo in game with the intent of having it eventually sit out in the sun for a while so that it turns into a stinky mess.
Mm-hmm. And you just don't have to wait.
You just have to, after that first time where you're like, yay, mayo. Oh, mayo. That's all. But does it make mayo or does it make Miracle Whip? Sorry. I was just thinking
you should have a custom alchemy jug that has Cadbury egg yolk in it.
Ooh. I had a friend many, many years ago who made me a Cadbury cake. Basically, it was a chocolate cake that they had just ground up a bunch of Cadbury cream eggs into. And I went home. So we worked together at a music store many, many years ago. And so she made this giant cake. And it was delicious. And we all loved it, except everybody could only eat like a tiny little piece of it because it really was the most sugary thing on the planet. And then they sent me home with the cake because well, this is your birthday, it's your cake. I'm like, well, I'm the only person in my apartment because I was alone at the time. So I went home with what was probably enough cake for like 8-9 people.
Oh, no.
And I did eventually eat it all. It took a very, very, very long time. But you know how when frosting gets stale, it gets hard?
Yeah.
The entire cake did that. The entire cake turned into like stale frosting, which I find delicious. And the reason it took weeks in order for me to finish this cake was because it was like a chunk. I could have a tiny chunk, and that was it. Even I could only have a tiny little bit of it, but it was delicious. I've never had that much sugar in my entire life. Okay. We've been talking about food for the vast majority of this show, but and also I've had the coloring pages up. But what we should be talking about are these amazing enraged caterpillar astral dreadnoughts. So I need to know, either from Alexis or Michelle, or maybe chat has some suggestions. How did these creatures come to be? What created caterpillar astral dreadnoughts? Are they just the larvae form of astral dreadnoughts, or is there something else going on?
Well, they were created by the astral butterfly dreadnoughts.
And does the astral butterfly dreadnought have the same toothy maw?
Yes, but bigger. More
the
teeth.
maw or the creature?
Both.
Okay. I kind of want to ask y'all to draw the astral butterflies too.
Butterfly is on the rolling list, right?
I think so. Butterfly number 8, yeah. Yep, and people are asking for the astral butterfly next week. Let's see. Our Green Paradox suggests caterpillar got banished to the astral plane and it was angry it couldn't get home. I mean, that's fair. I'd be angry too. And so it grew to gargantuan size. Dr. Scott Math says moon eggs. Everybody knows the moon is just a giant egg.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Ooh. And so when you look up at the moon in the sky, like a big pizza pie, that's an astral dreadnought.
That's only a matter of time.
Is only a matter of time. Moons are just a sign that your world is eventually doomed to be destroyed by an enraged caterpillar astral dreadnought.
That's why Jupiter has so many, because it's very large. Needs more.
Jupiter requires an entire family of enraged caterpillar astral dreadnoughts. I really like that too. I like the idea of this becoming one of those tales that a culture comes up with. That is their apocalyptic tale.
Mm-hmm. When the sketching hour is unearthed like 5,000 years from now and they're watching it, they're like, the moon is an egg. They thought the moon was an egg.
And then they drew the creature and then they were talking about eating it and then sugar. I don't understand. People in the year 2022 were weird. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. Gray L-Shaped says that Wallace and Gromit did prove the moon is made of cheese.
It's not good cheese, though, right?
Well, but maybe both are true. Maybe the egg of an enraged caterpillar astral dreadnought has a cheese outer layer because, well, you know how in nature, a lot of creatures that hatch from an egg, they eat their way out or they eat the egg afterwards because it is a source of protein. Mm-hmm. Well, if you make the moon out of cheese and it is an incubator for an astral dreadnought, that just means that's lots of delicious, delicious cheese that they can eat.
Mm-hmm. So these guys are enraged because Wallace and Gromit ate their post-birthing meal. Maybe they ate the moon. So they've been created, they've consumed the moon, and now they're out of cheese. And I don't know about you, but I get mad when I'm out of cheese, and I've been avoiding cheese for a very long time. Mm-hmm. This is those post-cheese sweats. Cheese.
Now we're just, Narwhals in a trench coat says, Jupiter's time will come. Yes, it will. You thought 2001: A Space Odyssey was predictive of what's going to happen to Jupiter. Just wait. Just wait until you see what happens to the moon. All these worlds are yours except Europa. Attempt no landing there because it's an astral dreadnought egg. There, did I just make a reference that nobody's going to get? Oh, no. Please.
I could tell it was a reference, but I did not understand it.
It is from the 2001 A Space Odyssey. Yeah. So there's a moment that it's not from that movie, it's from 2010. Yeah, whatever the sequel is. There's a incredibly famous transmission that goes back to Earth. All these worlds are yours except Europa. Attempt no landing there. Because even back then, they thought that Europa might be the only other place in the universe that had life and possibly intelligent life because water. Yes. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen 2010, even though it is a movie that is like 3 billion years old, as Bossman Zero says, that is the transmission that heads to Earth after Jupiter is made into a sun by all of the giant monoliths. Which is one of those interesting moments that sounds very cinematic until you think about it afterwards. It's like, well, wait, if Jupiter was made into a sun, Earth is destroyed because now you got two suns. Yeah, but don't worry about it. There's science and then there's science fiction. All right, I think we're definitely going with that these are creatures that ate their way out of an egg made of cheese that is the moon. It's only logical. Do we have names for these creatures? Either individuals or as a... I mean, they're enraged caterpillar astral dreadnoughts, but like, Harry? What are we calling these creatures?
Oh man, I always have a hard time with this question.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I like asking it, because it's a hard one, and then I can go chat. Help us, chat.
Yes, please, chat.
All right, chat. Give me some names for these two creatures. Oh, apparently the moon egg thing is a Doctor Who thing. Apparently we've also been making a Doctor Who reference. We've been Inception referencing this whole time. Thank you, Bavarian. Or is it Bavarian? Hold on, wait. I've lost. Oh, Dr. Scott Math. The moon egg thing is a Doctor Who thing for those non-fans. Thank you. Well, now they want you to call them Wallace and Gromit. Because, you know, Cassius 335 makes a point. Bill and Ben says a fallen angel. Ubatutu says, and I will call him George. And I will love him and squeeze him and hug. I mean, if we're going to go with all of the references today. Rainstorm Fur says leg and leggy. Truwana Hedda says cheese and whiz, which is funny. Starseeker 43 wants to make a Captain America reference and say Bucky and Steve.
Cream and egg.
Ooh, yeah. That could be good. The Lurking Writer suggests Europa and Luna.
Nice.
If we're going to go really deep with our references here. Supply215 has a suggestion for the creatures, which is a cater dreadnought. The hungry cater dreadnought. I almost read that as catered dreadnought, like, and now we serve unto you.
All the cheese.
all the cheese. Newble76 says smushy and cuddles.
So snuggly.
I mean, they've got a lot of legs. They must like hugs, right?
Right. That's the rule. The more legs, the more they like hugs.
Exactly. While I get some more suggestions from chat about what these creatures are called, I do have to ask, especially since Michelle's, I'm guessing, is so large it's gone off screen, but I have to ask, because we could just be zoomed in. Are these massive creatures, or have you made the smaller size of them?
Mine's massive, I think.
Yeah, today massive.
Yeah.
I mean, they were birthed out of a cheese moon, so that does make sense. Barry the Crocodile suggests pinchy and clamps, which is interesting. Like, we haven't brought this up. The both of you managed to work in the crab pincers into these creatures, which is a feature of the Astral Dreadnought. Ooh, True One Ahead says Gouda and Brie. I kind of like that.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Those are both good cheeses.
Star Chaser 43, we can't call them Pest and Impa. Those are names of other D&D characters from 2 other shows. Yeah, I kind of want to go Gouda and Brie. I think Gouda and Brie, the name, because you know what, if you're going to be birthed out of moons made of cheese, then I think it's only fair that you have cheese names.
That makes sense.
Star Chaser 43. I love the idea that I see you saying, oops, my bad. I love the idea that you came up with Pest and Impa, and you don't know that that's the name of creatures. So for those that don't know, that didn't get a chance to see, a Familiar Quest premiered this week, which is our new weekly D&D game that happens on Mondays at 5 o'clock Pacific, DM'd by the wonderful Todd Kenrick. And the 4 players in that game are playing familiars. And one of them is playing the Strixhaven Pest familiar named Pest, which is also a creature with a toothy maw, but it's tiny. It's this tiny little creature. So they're named Pest. And Impa is one of my fellow Strixhaven players from the Tuesday game. That is the Heroes of the Plains game. That's what we've turned into, is we are now at college in Strixhaven. So there you go. Mondays, you could watch a bunch of familiars in Barovia, and Tuesdays, you could watch a bunch of animal creatures in Strixhaven. Because we're a Loxodon, a Herringon, a Leonin, and an Owlin. We're a bunch of animal people.
Did you all pick like sort of the more animal like races as opposed to like less animal ones on purpose, or was it just sort of a serendipity?
A little bit of both. So when we decided that we were going to do a mini series that was Strixhaven, because the Owlin came out with Strixhaven, I was like, dibs. I'm an Aarakocra fan to begin with. So as soon as we went Strixhaven, I'm like, I'm playing an Owlin. And then Hope's character, Impa, is the Loxodon, and she's been dying to play a Loxodon for a while. She's talked about being the elephant in the room for quite a while. And then when the other 2 were mulling over their characters, it came up that like, hey, we've already got two of these animal-style humanoids. And then the 2 of them just became enamored with the idea of also being animal-style humanoids. And so we are all animal-style humanoids, and it's fun. It's super fun. All right, we've only got a couple minutes left. So I am going to say a few last things and look for any... what if the... Grizzly01810 says, what if the Astral Dreadnought is lactose intolerant? Well... That's not a fun time.
Nope.
That's not a fun time. That's you know what? I'm gonna say that's the reason that worlds are destroyed, is because enraged caterpillar astral dreadnoughts, when they are born and they have to eat their way out of their cheese egg, they're lactose intolerant, and now they're cranky. That is where we are going to stop for this week. A few quick things. If you are a fan of this show, come by our Discord so that you can get the coloring sheets of our awesome fungal salmon ankegs, which were creatures that were created and made for our Extra Life game. Check out, and you're not going to be able to hear me talk, so I'm going to be quiet for a second. Check out the Year 4 All-Star Pack, which just came out, which includes our Kira. Look! Yeah, you should totally get that. Absolutely, totally get that. Also, later on today, I believe in about an hour after this, there's going to be another episode of the Realmsmith Champions of the Realms game, where Mark Meir and Anna Prosser are going to be playing versus D&D. It's going to be Baloth versus Evelyn, so you should definitely check that out. And finally, Michelle, where can we find more of your fabulous art on the interwebs?
I'm on Instagram at Michelle Papadopoulos and Twitter at Art of Michelle.
And same question for Alexis. Where can we find more of your awesome art?
I'm on Instagram at alexis.thero and on Twitter at alexisthero.
Thank you so much to our wonderful moderator, Martin, for hanging out with us every single week, for getting the poll going, for grabbing all of the questions, and for being the person who holds the show together on the back end. You have no idea how hard the moderators around here work. It is gratifying to have that help. Also, come back next week where we've thanks to this chat, have voted the adjectives for next week are going to be ice and robotic. So we'll see what we roll for the cute animals and for the monsters. And with that, God, these creatures look so cool. With that, we'll let you go, and we'll see you next encounter. Thanks for coming by. Bye.
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 Thanks, everyone.